Welcome to Spiritual Sanctuary, Wisdom for the Divine Feminine. I'm your host, Bertina, and I'm so grateful that you're here. This is a space created for slowing down, for remembering who you are beneath the noise, and for reconnecting with the sacred wisdom that already lives within you. Before we begin, I want to offer a heartfelt thanks to our sponsor, Cosmic Connections. Their support for this podcast and this community is wonderful. You can receive 10% off your online purchase at yourcosmicconnections.com with the code Bertina Podcast 10. Yourcosmicconnections.com, Bertina, Bertena, Podcast 10. It's a beautiful way to support both your spiritual practice and the sanctuary, as well as a small business that I love so much. Now, wherever you are, maybe you're walking or resting or driving or just simply breathing, I invite you to gently step into the sanctuary with me. Let your shoulders soften, let your breath deepen, and there's nothing that you need to become or to be fixed. You've arrived at a sacred space. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bertina's Spiritual Sanctuary. My name is Bertina, and I'm your host. Today's episode is a little bit on par of what I usually cover, but it was inspired by my podcast coach, Kim Parkinson at kpcreativemedia.com. We had a masterclass yesterday, and we were going through trying to figure out topics. And she stated that one of the best things to do is to answer questions that you get a lot of. And I thought, oh, gosh, I get a lot of questions and I'm used to answering them directly. So, what would be a good one? So, within a few moments, I had a student of mine email me and go, how do I know if what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling is my intuition or if it's my spirit guides or it's just my imagination? So I thought I would go with this topic today as this question comes up again and again. Sometimes you may hear your guides, your intuition, and I'm going to use these interchangeably because your intuition is like your soul and it's part of you that you trust. Your guides are, to me, an extension of your soul. These may be angels or your ascended masters or your ancestors or elementals or goddesses, but they are connections of your soul because they connect to your soul. They come to you because of who you are and what you need at that time. And so we're just going to kind of go with that, I think, as a comparison. So, what I want you to realize is sometimes your messages are whispered in meditation. Some people will go, I can't see anything, but I can hear in meditation. I can feel in meditation. And that's perfectly fine. None of us are going to receive our messages the same way because none of us are exactly the same. Sometimes it appears as a really strong feeling, like just a gut feeling or an urge to not do something or to do something. It could be a sudden insight of, yeah, that's why I was feeling that way. That's why I decided not to do something or to do something. Or it can be just a moment of clarity that seems to arrive out of nowhere. Now, this happens to me a lot when Sam and I are traveling. I'll sit over there with a notebook and I mean, I swear I get messages. I don't know if it's because I'm relaxed and I'm not having to think about things, or if I am, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that's how it happens. And then sometimes it shows up as doubt right after we just know it was certain because we begin to distrust ourselves. So ask yourself, how do I know if this is my intuition, my soul? How do I know if this message is my spirit guides or just my mind making it up? Now, everybody asks themselves that. And you're not behind, you're not blocked. I hear students all the time, clients all the time going, I think I'm blocked. And I'm like, no, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just at that threshold or that doorway where listening begins. We live in a world that teaches us to trust what can be measured or seen or proven or validated externally. And that's perfectly fine. I love science. Um, I have much respect for science. I'm not good at science, but I have much respect for it. And most of us, though, were never taught how to listen inwardly, let alone to listen or trust to what we hear inside of us. Especially women, we are told many times we're hysterical, we're making things up, all of this other stuff. And many times when we're younger, we have this intuition and then we kind of close it down. We hide our imaginary friends, which are spirit guides. We don't trust ourselves. Maybe something traumatic happened and we trusted someone or we thought we would react a certain way and we didn't. And that's okay, but we close it off. So, as we live, many times when we start this spiritual path again, our intuition begins to wake up. At first, it can be really unsettling. We start going into a spiral. We want reassurance. We want these clear categories. We want to know exactly if we're getting it right. But that's the thing, though. Inner guidance doesn't come with labels. The question isn't really about intuition versus spirit guides versus what we hear, but the question is always about trust. And when we look at our lives and think about how we deal with trust in our daily life, that will have a lot to do with how we deal with trust in our spiritual life. So, first, I want to talk to you about the fact that intuition is not separate from you. It's not something outside of you that you need to access correctly. It's part of your nervous system. Science. It's part of your body wisdom, your emotional intelligence, psychology, and your soul awareness working together. And it often arrives very quietly. There is no fanfare. It isn't like it is on TV where you're just kind of knocked down or this thing is just thrown in your face or you just know and it's all perfect. What happens is sometimes there's just a sudden sense of knowing without a reason why. Like, why do I know this? Sometimes, for most people, honestly, there's a bodily response, which is becoming extremely calm, becoming anxious, maybe contracting muscles, expanding muscles. Muscle memory and our soul memory are really, really connected. Or maybe it's a thought that feels settled rather than frantic, or it's a thought, a truth that kind of repeats over time. But this is the thing, it does not argue or panic or demand immediate action. It doesn't rush you, it doesn't shame you, it doesn't yell at you. It simply just presents itself and waits for you. That is our ego, our fears, arguing and panicking and demanding to know right then. Now, many people want to know where spirit guides come in. And many people think that when spirit guides talk to us that it's entirely separate from intuition, something more dramatic, something external. And in reality, spirit guides work through your intuitive channels. Guidance tends to feel supportive rather than urgent, and it often carries a sense of reassurance. It gives you perspective of what's going on and it gives you encouragement, especially when it's kind of nudging you to change or grow. And if tuition feels like a quiet inner voice, spirit guides often feel like, I guess you can say, a steady presence beside of you, a sense that you're not alone in what you're navigating. Guides don't override your will. They don't take away your agency. They don't force outcomes. They just accompany you. They walk with you all the time. That's the thing. They are always with you. When you smell something, when you see something, when you feel something, when you hear something, when you know something, that is just them helping you. And it's not just at night when ghosts come out. That's the thing. Paranormal is a totally different topic, but spirits are around us all the time. So your guides don't have to have a special place for you to be able to talk to them. It doesn't have to be at night or in the morning. They're there with you all the time. Your intuition, your soul is here with you all the time. But this is the thing, our mind. Our mind isn't the enemy, but it does have a different tone. Mental thoughts tend to chatter on, and they tend to repeat the same thing you've worried about for days. A lot of times our mental chatter feels like urgency or pushing, or it just spirals into all these what if scenarios, and it carries a lot of emotional charge or fear, and it wants certainty right then. And so when a message feels frantic, harsh, critical, anything like that, it's usually just your mind responding to a nervous system that doesn't feel safe yet. That doesn't mean that you failed connecting with your intuition or with your spirit guides. It just means that something in you is asking you to ground. Now, here's the part that often brings the most relief. You don't have to perfectly identify every inner message. Sometimes it will be intuition. Sometimes it will be guidance. And sometimes it will just be a thought passing through. Discernment isn't about getting it right every time. It's about learning. It's about learning the feel of your truth in your body over time. And this takes practice, and so many people do not want to practice. Well, I won't say they don't want to. They want it to come really, really quickly. And they want it to be really exciting. But whenever you practice, you begin to notice a lot of different patterns than that. You tend to feel calm versus feeling urgent. You tend to feel more grounded than depleted. And it also, the messages and the energy tends to align with your compassion rather than fear. Now, this learning happens gently and it happens through practice and listening, not testing it. And many people think that testing and practice are the same thing, and it's not. There's a simple way to kind of check in and see this. When something arises, instead of immediately labeling it, just ask, does this feel steady or rushed? If it does, then slow down. Does my body soften or tense when I sit with it? Does this message lead towards clarity or confusion? And does it feel like love, safety, and growth? Your body knows long before your mind catches up, and it shows you in these feelings. Now, trust is the real practice. You don't need louder messages or constant signs or forced connections. What you need is safety and stillness and self trust. And as you slow down through meditation and breath, work and grounding and compassion, the noise begins to settle on its own. What you're left with, usually you're more clear, not because you tried harder, but because you made space for it to come in. You're not doing this wrong. Many of us doubt ourselves. We second guess what we feel. you're worried about misinterpreting guidance, that doesn't mean you're disconnected. It just means that you need to learn how to listen. And listen and truly listen is a sacred act. I still have a hard time with this. I find times when I want to jump and react. My divine masculine in my previous job sometimes wants me to just go. But while working with my divine feminine, it's been hard, but I do try to sit and listen and feel and trust and not react exactly. And the thing is, though, your intuitive messages that you get does not mean that you have to let everyone know or act on them. That's the thing. You're allowed to take your time. You can ask questions. You can trust slowly. You can talk to other people about what you think. Guidance doesn't disappear because you hesitate. And intuition doesn't push you for doubt. Both respond to gentleness. And the more you meet yourself with patience, the clearer everything becomes. Now, if you have any more questions like this that you would love for me to answer, please comment wherever you get this podcast. You can also email me at bertina@bertina.org. That's Bertena. I'll be glad to help you with many things. I do not do astrology or runes. I can tell you history of things like that. But those two topics are not my things. My things are divination and spirit guides and cards and priestesses and rituals and things like that. So I hope you all take a few moments, enjoy these days. Today it's snowing here. Um, and if you have any questions at all, again, reach out to me. Join me on some of my free Zoom classes on Thursdays. There's lots of ways to reach out to me. But the thing is, though, just begin to trust yourself, sit and listen. Reaction isn't needed. Have a good evening. As we begin to close our time together, I want to thank you for spending this sacred moment with me here at the Spiritual Sanctuary. If today's episode resonated with you, I invite you to leave a comment or share this episode with someone who may need a little sanctuary of their own. As a thank you, everyone who comments or shares is entered into a drawing from our sponsor, Cosmic Connections, and it's a beautiful way to keep the magic flowing beyond time and space. And if you're longing for deeper connection, more guidance, and updates on both our online and impersonal spiritual sanctuary gatherings, I invite you to stay in touch with me by signing up with my newsletter at Bertina.org. That's Bertena.org, where I share upcoming events, rituals, reflections, and offerings created just for this community. Until we meet again, please be gentle with yourself, trust your inner knowing, and remember, this sanctuary lives within you. Thank you for being here.